12 Clinton employees, including the superintendent and the deputy superintendent, were placed on paid administrative leave today. Does the extent of that surprise you?
No, not at all, Don. There's a big problem here. It's obvious, and it's going to go deeper and deeper. The more people that get in trouble, the more people that are going to, or who are going to talk. And I think that the big problem, even bigger than this, is the fact that people may focus on Clinton and think that that's where it begins and it ends, and that's definitely not what the case is. I think this is just indicative of the larger problem across the United States, not just New York State. The prison systems, different prison systems, state and the prison system, even the federal system, needs a lot of overhaul, Don.
That's a scary prospect, considering how these guys got out, how long they were out, and you're saying this is an issue all across the country? Many people are going to be concerned about that.
It is, Don. Don, I've been in a number of prisons, give or take 10 prisons. I served federal, county, and state time, and there wasn't one prison I was ever in that didn't have heroin all over the prison. I mean, people get it whenever they want, and that's a problem, and it comes in a lot of different ways. But you have to imagine that you're locking up people who are drug addicts, and they committed the crimes. The root of their criminal behavior lies in drugs, and they get to prison, and they have it available to them any way they turn. And you want to call these places correctional facilities, which is absolutely ridiculous. Who's correcting who? What's the correctional process here? When you get locked up and you commit a crime because of drug use, you go inside and you get your drugs. And a lot of people, you know, the rate of recidivism, nobody's ever really looked at it, where a lot of these people go outside and it's harder to get the drugs outside than it is to get inside. And they get locked up again because they have what they want available to them on the inside, and it's a lot easier and more accessible on the inside. We have a prison problem, Don. That's what this is. It's not about Clinton Correctional Facility at all. That's just the tip of the iceberg, and it's good that we finally hit this iceberg and we could take a look at everything. And also, too, Don, I want to add, too, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I wanted to add that, you know, President Obama is starting to look at the sentencing, and he wants to try to, you know, this mass incarceration problem. When I got locked up in 1994, Don, that was a long time ago, but I walked through the R&D room, and I saw a map on the wall of the U.S. prisons, and there were little pegs across the country where there was a couple of pegs here, a couple of pegs there, and those were the prisons across the country. When I came back down on my appeal 6 years later, that board was covered. There were pegs that covered that map across the entire United States. And I said to the guy, what are we doing? How many prisons have we built? And he goes, well, we got to lock you guys up. You know, I said, there's no way that there's a problem this big that you have to build that many prisons. And there's a lot, it goes a lot deeper than the actual crime. It's what the feds were doing with criminal guidelines and giving people much more sentences that they far greater sentences than they deserved, and the state system started doing it as well.
It is known as the prison industrial complex that you're talking about, people who are making money off of prisons and incarcerating people. I want to get back just real quickly to your experience there. What was it like when you were in there, your freedoms compared to the guys who escaped? Was it any different than these guys?
Yeah, well, you know, when I was there, it's a big wall, it's a maximum security. It was news to me that the honor block was turned into sort of like a block party and this big discotheque every night. I can't imagine that, so it progressively got worse. But you don't forget, too, each prison warden is sort of like a dictator of his own country. And he has to create this balancing act where he allows the prisoners to run their own prison while trying to maintain overall control of the institution. And that's not an easy balancing act. And a lot of people, if they're not experts, they blow it. And this guy blew it, obviously, at Clinton. And it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, great perspective. Lou Ferrante, thank you very much.